This is Benjamin Fulford speaking with Robert David Steele. We're in Inokashira Park in Tokyo on February 20th, 2018. Now, Mr. Steele.
Robert, please.
Robert, we've both been subject to hit jobs and smear tactics. And when I looked at your Wikipedia, it said that you had said that there were child sex slaves on Mars. And I hear that this is just a big fake attempt to discredit you. Could you tell us what was behind that?
Now, let me just point out that pedophilia does not stop with sodomizing children. It goes straight into terrorizing them to adrenalize their blood and then murdering them. It also includes murdering them so that they can have their bone marrow harvested as well as body parts. Pedophilia is much
This is the
bigger.
original growth hormone.
Yes, it's an anti-aging thing. And this may strike your listeners as way out, but we actually believe that there is a colony on Mars that is populated by children who were kidnapped and sent into space on a 20-year ride.
And who did it and why?
Well, I have a federal lawsuit out, which I expect to win. I have an extraordinarily good defamation lawyer, and so I'm not going to argue the details in public, but I will say that I was doing a 2-hour video with Alex Jones on pedophilia. I'm a commissioner as well as the chief counsel on a judicial inquiry into pedophilia, and I believe that my 2 hours of remarks scared the living hell out of a particular murderous pedophile in the media business. And he commissioned a hit job by a guy in the Daily Beast. It will have to come out in a federal lawsuit. I did not say that there were child sex slaves on Mars. In answer to a question at the very end of the program, I said that we use children for long-range space missions 20 years and out. That was 20 years ago. And that we had a base on Mars that was established 15 years ago and has 10,000 people on it. That's a fact, according to a retired NSA PhD that told me and someone else that fact.
Robert David Steele's going to talk about that more. Right now, with Robert David Steele, we're taking phone calls. Stephen in Florida on the pedo gate situation. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. First of all, I want to say Romans 12 says, give honor to whom honor is due. So I know you guys are patriots, Mr. Steele and Alex. I won't say thank you, but I do say I respect you, and I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. And this issue about this pedophile ring and these pervert criminals, it infuriates me. It's one of my hot button issues.
Oh, it's the only time I think about violence, and because I don't like being violent, but I mean, I fantasize about like jabbing daggers in their eyes, stuff like that. I mean, I'm being honest. I can't help it. When I think about pedophiles torturing kids, I want to kill. Go ahead. Sorry.
Same way. And I just wanted to say real quick before I get to that, Johnny Depp, look into his ties with Hunter Thompson, the Satanist that groomed him in Hollywood. When he says he wants to kill Trump, I don't think he's blowing smoke. I take that real serious. So look into that.
But you know, one of Hunter S. Thompson's best friends, he's the famous artist, I interviewed him. He said Hunter S. Thompson was about to expose pedophile rings and things, and that it was disinfo against him by the pedophile rings because he was writing about it. Let me see what Robert David Steele has to say. Go ahead.
No, I agree with that. And let me just point out that pedophilia does not stop with sodomizing children. It goes straight into terrorizing them to adrenalize their blood and then murdering them. It also includes murdering them so that they can have their bone marrow harvested as well as body parts. Pedophilia is much
This is the
bigger.
original growth hormone.
Yes, it's an anti-aging thing. And this may strike your listeners as way out, but we actually believe that there is a colony on Mars that is populated by children who were kidnapped and sent into space on a 20-year ride. So that once they get to Mars, they have no alternative but to be slaves on the Mars colony. There's all kinds of.
Well, look, I know 90% of the NASA missions are secret, and I was told by high-level NASA engineers that you have no idea. There's so much stuff going on, but then it goes off into all that. I mean, that's the kind of thing the media jumps on. But I know this.
I did not say that there were child sex slaves on Mars.
Child sex slaves on Mars. Yeah,
Colonel, the message is Mars needs women.
That's a fact.